Hello, everybody. It's the most intelligent audience on YouTube. Talking about you guys. You're smarter than the average YouTuber. I have to say that. Uh, Welcome to Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I'm Scott. Welcome here. If you're new, welcome. If you're an old schooler, glad you've been with me all this time. Ever since Janine talked about me for about 2 minutes 3 years ago. All right. Before I get started, I want to give this message that I saw on Facebook. It was probably a TikTok video. You know, they take TikTok videos and they put them other places. But it what it looked like to me was an old video, judging from the quality and the way the people were dressed. So it looked like it was maybe from the 80s or early 90s. Yeah. And it was a woman talking about how to deal with adversity in your life. And it's something that I've been saying for a long time, and I just wanted to take a moment and share with everybody right now, especially this time of year. A lot of people have, it's the holidays and things maybe don't go your way, or you're dealing with some major adversity in your life. When you have one of these life-changing events, like big things, losing a job, a long-term relationship, or even some of the more minor setbacks, this is what you need to say to yourself. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good things will come, and I am safe. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good, no matter how bad it seems right now. There's something about this experience you're going through now that's going to help you with something better, make you a better person somehow, some way. You're going to be better off for this experience at, at the end of it, because this too shall pass. And out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. Okay, so repeat this to yourself. If you're going through a hard time right now, number one, know that this will pass. This is not going to last forever. All is well. You're safe, and this is somehow working out for your higher experience, highest good. You signed up for this. This was in your contract that you signed up for. Okay. So just wanted to share that with everybody out there. Um, I've said this before, but I want to say it in a very clear and concise way. Okay. How are you, Cherie? I got Cherie helping me out in the chat today.
Doing pretty good, Scott. How's your morning going?
Fantastic. In fact, I have some really good news. Just spoke to my mom last night. Um, she's finished up with her second rounds of chemo. And, it was a year and a half ago when she got the diagnosis. And it was not good. And we did not expect her to be here this long, even now. Okay. And her most recent scan showed that the cancer that was going throughout her body at one point has like stopped. So it's not all gone altogether, and she's probably not gonna get rid of it completely. But as of right now, it stopped. And when I talked to her last night, she was beaming. She was so happy, so full of life. And wow, there's something about people who come to that very threshold of passing over to the other side that really kind of gives you like this second way of looking at life, because like she said it last night, and this is something that's always bothered me about my mother, and it's been hard for me to get close to her because of this, because she's always seen the worst possible outcome of everything is always doom and gloom, and she's admitting it for the first time, and she said, I look at that now and I wonder, why was I that way? So it's funny that she had to get to this point in her life to come to that realization. But good for her. She looked great. She's happy. And Honey told me when I first brought this up, Honey told me, she said, "Well, let me check with her higher self." And she says she's not ready to go, even from her higher self's point of view. This happened to her. It was probably brought on by the thing.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but my mother's contract did not end there. So anyway,
That's
just wanted
great.
to share that. Yeah, and that gives me more motivation to carry through with my plan to come to America because, as I said before, I really don't want to come there or go there, I should say, because not all of you live in America. But yeah, if it weren't for my mom, I'd be sitting here comfortably doing my thing in Thailand. All right, so and how are you, Cherie?
A little worn out from all the driving today, but other than that, doing good. Got over the eye infection and got over the sinus infection, and now poor Luke is coming down with it.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. So it's a good thing I had all the medication from the doctor, so he's using it.
And poor Honey, um, she got this respiratory infection. She still can't finish a sentence. We were talking about her possibly being here today. She's like, "Well, I'm finally starting to feel stronger. I think I can make it." And I said, "Listen, if you can't finish a sentence without coughing, then you shouldn't be doing a talk show, basically." So we agreed that she should take another week off. And then I heard from Lucy G. You guys know her in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
She was on that trip to Europe with Honey, and she got it too. So
Oh,
that's one of the dangers about traveling. When you go to any part of the world that your body hasn't been to before, you're going to be meeting all these new germs because there is some truth to that. It's not as like what CDC tells us and everybody else, but
right.
that does happen. It happened to me when I came to Thailand. I got like my body's like, oh, never had this one before. Takes a while to fight it off. Anyways, so let's pray for Honey and Lucy and everybody that was in that group. Pray or to send your healing, whatever, however it is you do, that they get better fast because they are having a difficult time shaking it. All
Definitely will
right.
send healing vibrations their way. That's too bad, especially
Okay.
this
And
time.
it has anybody seen this interview with I, what's his name? Greer, something Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer. He's a trauma doctor who, back in the 90s, um, started finding out information about UFOs, and he became a huge UFO investigator. Um, when I first heard about this guy, I thought, wow, he's great. He has all this information. He's trying to help humanity. And then as time went on, there were a lot of things. I can't remember exactly what it was now because this was like a decade ago or 5 or 6 years ago. It's like, nah, there's something about this guy. He was working for the black hats basically.
Hmm.
And that was one reason I stopped listening to him. I thought he was giving disinformation and I just didn't trust the guy one bit. Do you know who I'm talking about, Shuri?
I've heard of him before, and I did get to watch a little bit of the video, but I didn't get to finish it. So I'm not that familiar with him.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I was a little bit reluctant when I saw him, especially he's on with Dana Carvey and David Spade. And I'm sure those guys have been done questionable things or where their heart is questionable.
True.
So take the interview with a grain of salt. However, in this interview, it's this one here. I don't know if I can. It's called the name of the show is it's called Superfly with Dana Carvey and David Spade. We found out what the drones are, and that's what piqued my interest here. As it's on my Telegram channel, and but he says a lot of the things that I said in my reading last week. Except he says that they are being controlled by the dark hats, but
Mm.
they were at one point, or that's what their origins were. But I remember that King of Pentacles that came up when I did the reading on it, that now it's under the control of the White Hats. And I also said, because the Ace of Swords came out as the outcome, that eventually we're going to know everything there is to know about these things. Like there's going to be a disclosure about it.
Mhm.
And he agreed with that part of it. But also he said that we should be afraid of them. Dana Carvey's like, oh, should we be afraid? And he's like, yeah, we should be afraid. I I think that may be part of trying to wake people up. But anyhow, go and watch the interview if it interests you. There is some good information in there, I thought. Oh, and I was chatting with Honey last night, and I told her I was going to talk about this today, and I asked her, "What do you think about David Greer?" And she said the same thing. A lot of my other friends have been saying is he was a black hat, but he's been recruited or turned over to the white hats, and now he's being used to help wake people up.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I'd do a read on Dr. Stephen Greer today and see what the cards say.
Definitely.
And I forgot my cards are over there. Got to grab them. So, Cherie, I think
Yes.
you have a very good intuitive sense. So, not based on what he said, but just vibratorily, like the vibration. When you looked at Stephen Greer, when you listened to him, what was your sense? Do you think he's on our side now?
I kind of got a neutral feeling, but like I said, I haven't watched the whole video, so I really can't say whether it's good or bad. But just starting off was just kind of a neutral. I'm listening and see what I feel as it continues on. So I'll probably finish watching the video later tonight.
Okay. Yeah. All
I
right.
do. I know the two
Hmm?
guys that have the YouTube channel that were talking first. I know I used to have really bad feelings about the blonde guy. He was in a lot of movies that I really didn't care for. I usually have a very negative feeling towards him, but this time it was more neutral also. So I think
Are
something
you talking
has
about
changed.
celebrity, David Spade, or the other one, Dana Carvey? Talking about them?
I don't know. The blonde was in
They're
some,
they're both blonde. There's the older one is David Spade. He used to do movies with John Candy back in the day. And then Dana Carvey, remember the church lady on Saturday Night Live? That's who he played.
yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah, I used to have a lot more negative feeling towards him than what I did when I started watching the video. Now it's more neutral. So something has kind of changed on the vibe there.
Right. Good. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Before I get to work pulling cards and stuff, I want to well, first I want to check the chat. Check in
Okay.
with the chat and say hi to people in the chat. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. Something I just figured out how to do. Oh, Sama sent me a super chat. Thank you very much. I'll get to that in just a minute. So let's say Tug of Light, first in the chat. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see you there. She says, chilly Blue Ridge Mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. Oh, that loved the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's where I've had my spoon experience that I talk about, where I manifested a spoon out of nothingness. I was
Yeah, I
sitting
love
on
that
that
too.
ridge looking out over Virginia. Um, and the weather here is chilly. I mean, for us, I'm from Florida and I've been here for 20 years. So it gets down to 68, 66 degrees. And we're like, oh, it's cold. But haven't turned on
Um,
the air conditioner in a couple of weeks. Just got my electric bill. It was cut in half. So I'm loving it, loving the fresh air, the quietness because I can turn off the fans and well, I got the fan on now, but I can turn off a lot of the electronics, fans and stuff, and it's nice and quiet and just beautiful.
and here
And
I am sitting in the bathroom in December, and we hit the 60s today.
oh wow, that's weird. That's wild. Our oh, that's our low temperature, and that's your high temperature, right?
Yep, no snow.
I
It's
want
going to
to
be a very good Christmas.
welcome to Colleen. I'm so glad you're back, Colleen. I value you, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you didn't take too much offense. If you're the same Colleen that I think you are. Uh, Sherry Knoll, of course, is here,
Hmm.
and Sunny. Hello, Sunny, and everybody else who's not here yet. All right, and but I also want to let's see. Am I still sharing? Stop sharing for a minute. I also want to invite people to visit my website. So every year things get slow for me, like they are right now, and I'm okay. I got that YouTube bonus, so I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. But now I've got to save up for that plane ticket to America and pay for that, so I'm not really out of the woods yet. Um, but when this happens and I get down to like maybe one booking a week, which is about what I'm at right now, I lower my prices. Like last week, I announced I lowered it from $85 for a session, and a session with me is an hour and a half. And I record it for you, and I'll send you the recording. Normally, right now, that's $80, but I've lowered it to $65. But that doesn't help me if I still don't get bookings. So I'm going to go all the way back to my original fee when I first started, which was $50 for a session. That's an hour and a half for $50. So if you did want to pay the 65, you still that was still too much for you. You couldn't handle that, but you can't handle 50. I will accept $50. Or make me an offer. Maybe you don't feel like you need an hour and a half and you want to do just an hour and you want to pay $40. Just yeah, make me an offer. I'll work with you. All right. And I want to share my website with you. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, you can come over here, read about my history a little bit. This is where you come to book. And yeah, it says I got to change this. Okay, I'll do it as soon as I get off here. I forgot to do it before I came on. Regularly, it's $80 for an hour and a half. I was saying first timers 65, but now it's just 50 for everybody. Okay, regardless if you're an old timer or a new timer. Um, for an hour and a half. You click here. This will take you to a scheduling app where you choose the day and time, and the dates and times you see here will be for your local day and time. Then you come down here and you click pay here. This will take you to buy me a coffee. Okay. Some people have trouble with buy me a coffee because where you pay, it'll say like one coffee, five coffees, or or something like that, right? For 25 coffee. But then next to that, there's a little gray box that has a 10 in it. and you click there, and then you can type in however many coffees you need. If it's $50, that's 10 coffees. Okay. And oh, and then I also have readings by email. Okay. So if you don't like using Zoom, don't like being on video, or you just don't have the time or whatever for it, I'm keeping this at $40 because that's pretty good, and you get up to 3 questions, and you can follow the instructions here about how to do that. Okay, and then the other thing that I have, where is it? I have client testimonials here if you want to hear about other people's experiences with me and see if I'm right for you. I don't guarantee everybody will have the amazing experiences these people have had, but many people do. And that's about it. And that's my advertising for myself for today. All right.
That's great. That's great,
Any
Scott.
questions?
Thank you.
You think I did a I got that information out okay?
Yeah, and I'm always doing those
Okay.
copies on my fingers. 10, 15, 20. I have to use my fingers.
Oh, you mean to figure out the coffees?
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, before I get to you guys' questions, wow, it's already been 30 minutes. Let's I'm going to do a reading on Dr. Stephen Greer. First, I'm going to look at him and where is he at today? And I believe that there are a lot of people like this who started off on one side of the war and then got recruited over to the other side and
I think
going from black hats, white hats. Mm-hmm.
yep.
What's that, Sheree?
I think a lot of them have changed over. I think a lot of them may not have had a choice. Well, they were given a choice, but you know which choice they took.
But a lot of these people were given that same deal they couldn't refuse from the black hats too.
That's
Imagine
true.
imagine if you're someone with a skill or a talent or something, and you were given an ultimatum. You know, either join us or your family perishes. Take your family out, or and so can you blame somebody if they had to join up with the black hats to save their wives and children and families from being harmed?
No, it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be a very hard position to be put into. You can, on one hand, you can
I
really
I
feel
believe
for them. It's a
I believe
war.
that's what happened to one of my close friends. He was or is a true genius. He was making microchips. He was like designing microchips back in the 90s. And when I knew him back then, even he already held like 9 patents. And he went from
Wow.
working for Harris Corporation in Florida, which is a big corporation that handles a lot of government contracts, to Silicon Valley, where he hit it big, right? So he was making the big bucks in Silicon Valley, and then suddenly, out of the blue, he moves to Washington D.C. and he starts working for somebody there. I don't know who. And I'm like, man, you don't leave a cushy job in Silicon Valley making millions of dollars a year to go work for the government, you know?
Oh,
And
yeah.
and he was a pacifist too. He was a very devout Christian who would not do anything to help the industrial military complex. So I always
Oh,
wondered, it dawned on me one day, they probably took him aside and threatened his family, and he would have done anything for them. Okay, so what I'm saying is let's not be too harsh on how we judge people for things they did, and then now they're getting an opportunity to switch back, you know. Anyways, so
very
I'm going to
true.
look at Dr. Stephen Greer. Where is he today? Then I'm gonna, well, depending on what I see here, I'm gonna go on to see like the information that he gave in that interview. How dependable was that?
Okay.
Oh, hanged man. That's
Oh,
someone who's received some type of punishment already. Hangman. A judgment that was handed down for something. Penalty. It was sentence. King of Cups. Haha. Tower in the past. They got him, and they're protecting him. Yep. And there's that Ace of Wands. Gave him a new lease on life, a new start. And this is not something he did like just to save himself. This is a true transformation of his soul, or like a fresh start on a soul level. He is independent now. He's not being controlled by anybody. Okay, so like the white hats aren't telling him this is what you say. He's still he has independent thought, uh, and yeah, there's a cause for celebration for him because basically he's been saved from a terrible fate as being a part of the dark hats. He received some sort of punishment for it. Okay, or he's going to. Um, maybe it might even be like a karmic type of thing. Might something he may not have to pay for in this lifetime, but in another lifetime. So there you go. Well, that confirms. And by the way, I don't know if I finished saying this when I was talking about Honey. Honey told me the same thing when I was chatting with Honey. She said that he used to be a black cat and he's been switched. My cards agree. Pretty cool.
good, good. Yeah.
So now my question is, I don't think all the information that he gave in that interview was accurate. Okay. I think some of it was meant for normies. Well, in fact, the whole thing was really meant for normies. Doesn't mean it's not good for us to listen in to see like where people are. Because like Dana Carvey and David Spade, they represent those, the normies. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good.
So, so
Good news
I'm
all
going to
over.
do now a general read on the, the information that Dr. Stephen Greer gives in this particular interview. How true is it? He says some things like 90% of all UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call it, are man-made, retro-engineered technology. And that makes sense to me because I've had, what, two sightings? No, three. And the first one was the triangles that have three
Mhm.
lights in the corner, there are like three white lights in the corners and one red light in the center. It's known as the TR3B. And those are using anti-gravity technology, which is really cool. Um, but those are retro-engineered, and I figured that out by doing my own research after I had my sighting. I spent years researching it, found out that's what it was, most likely.
Mhm.
The other one, I believe, was a Merkaba or Merkaba, however you want to pronounce it, which is like the essence of the soul when it doesn't have a body. It's also part of the Platonic solids. You can look it up for yourself. But I believe the Merkaba was my father because he had just passed away weeks earlier, and I was looking out at the horizon. There was a low cloud ceiling, and I saw a star, which I figured out couldn't be a star because the clouds. and then it zipped, went right over my head. It looked like a sparkling diamond. I had all the
No.
colors of the rainbow sparkling in it, and it zipped right over my head. And so those are like entities. When you see those are souls or spirits that do not have a physical body. And then the other one was the huge triangle that was hidden in the clouds over my head here in Thailand. And that, I believe, was an actual ET because they hide in the clouds, and it was huge. It was like a mile in circumference, a mile on each side triangle. Okay, so going to look at this. Everything that Dr. Stephen Greer says in this interview with David Spade and Dana Carvey, how much of it, well, just what can the cards tell us about what he said there? And then I'm going to take your guys' questions. And I really would appreciate anybody who can offer up any super chats because times like this, when my bookings are low, I really depend on my YouTube money more than ever. Well, this is what you would expect to see for somebody who's turned over a new leaf in their life and started a new chapter, a total new book. He's been separated from his usual place of which was with the black hats. Okay, but you can't take everything he says in this video as fact. It's some things that he's been told to say, and this is part of his like part of his recompense too. So not everything he says in there is true, and he's holding back on some truths, and yeah, he's painting a picture that is meant for the Normans. Okay, those you can use your intuition to suss out from the video what's true and what's not true. If you're someone is who has a lot of knowledge already about this stuff, so like a normie, they wouldn't be able to distinguish the things that he's saying that are not true from the things that he's saying that aren't true. But if you
Exactly.
use your intuition, you can read between the lines and you can get the the more esoteric uh, information that he's given. But don't take everything he says in that video as 100% fact. Okay, and
Okay.
I you can say that with anything. So I wouldn't say that it's a vital video to watch, but I found it interesting. All right, now
Mm, sounds good.
let me come back to the. Well, yeah, I just I'm really happy to see that things are moving along like this. Wonder what are people at home thinking about the this is about the drones. First off, is anybody who's listening to me here now afraid of what could come from them? Type a Y if you're afraid of the drone phenomena, which is now going to other cities all over the world. Are you afraid of it? Does it scare you? Type a Y or a Y if yes, I'm afraid, or an N for no, I'm not afraid. I'd like to see what people are feeling. David Spade's brother was married to Kate Spade. Lady Blue has no fear of anything. Yeah, I should expect that from all you guys. You're not going to be afraid. Sure, Tracy, I'll give you that. You guys aren't afraid. I don't even know why I asked that. When I mentioned it to my mother and my sister last night, they were afraid.
I think with being
Yeah,
in the middle of
Lacey's.
the we don't seeing any of it here. Nobody's worried about it. I'm just keeping my eyes open and questioning everything. So then again, it could be different if I was out there and it was happening over my head. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if these things are car sized and they're above your house, that's a legitimate fear just because no matter what it is, the thing could fall in your house. You know what I mean? So I could understand that.
Yeah.
Lacey Blue makes a good point. I'm not afraid because we have known this was coming through various predictors. Yeah, you're right. Oh, David Spade's sister was taken off the plane. Sandy? Interesting. I know Sandy has a lot of knowledge on stuff. Okay, so let me get to what I'm really here for, and that's to answer you guys' questions. You don't have to buy a super chat to get your questions answered. We'll choose questions on how they resonate with us. I don't, I'll just leave it at that. Sima, oh, yeah, that's Sima, right? Or Saime. Simon Malik. Can you look if real estate crash happening in America during 2025, particularly in Virginia? Sure. I'll do that. Do you know anything about real estate investments and stuff, Sheree?
I'm waiting for it to crash so I can buy $1 million house for a couple 100,000.
Real estate crash
And that's
happening in
about the
America
only
during.
thing
Do you know
that's, let me
is
mute
it a
you.
is real estate investment a bubble right now that's ready to burst? Do you know?
That's what they
And then
that's what they've been telling us for the last couple of years. Yeah. I've got a train, so I'm gonna mute you.
okay, so but this is particularly in Virginia, but I would think if it crashed in Virginia, that would be systemic. It would be everywhere in the United States. Um, I have a card in mind if Virginia is going to be particularly hit. So let's take a look and see. Real estate crash and what does it mean? Will there be a real estate crash? What does it mean? What's going to happen with real estate?
Hmm.
Oh, we got something going on here.
Oh, upside down.
Well, I'm going to say it's highly likely that that could happen. And I
Hmm.
think I think there is a bubble that's ready to burst. And with this Wheel of Fortune and this Five of Cups and the Page, which is so if we say we're at a king now and we're going down to a page, that's definite demotion. The wheels were turning the other way now. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot of arguments probably going on in the people don't know. I would guess that's why this question's coming up. It's this unknown thing. Yeah, it's definitely let me put it this way. If I was holding large real estate investments, I'd probably be trying to get rid of them right now if it was me and if I was doing this reading for myself. Okay? So good
Mhm.
luck to everybody out there. I hope you're not heavily invested in real estate, and if you are, you can if you can make money on it now, I would do it. And then Cherie, you'll be able to buy your $1 million mansion for pennies on the dollar.
Exactly. Can't wait.
All right, Tracy Gardner. Tracy, okay, you're paying in pounds, so you cannot be the same Tracy that I was thinking, that I mention all the time. It's like she found me back on Facebook before I had a YouTube channel, and I've talked about it before. She's the one who was sending my videos when I did get started on YouTube. Like I said, I met her first on Facebook, then I started my YouTube channel, and then she started sending my videos to Janine Morajo because she would get answers from Janine. So I give her a lot of credit for helping me get my start. But Tracy Gardner, I think you're a different Tracy because that Tracy was in America and you paid me in pounds. You bought super chat in pounds. I'm going through my cards real quick. I'm gonna put everything up right. So, anyways, Tracy Gardner, you're always here. You're a big supporter, and I appreciate you. And I'm going to give you a general read. And this will be for the end of the year. So up until like New Year's. Okay, Tracy? Now, this is funny. I just went through my cards, and only ones that were upside down came up in that last reading. It's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how when I did the reading last week on the drones and the outcome was the Ace of Swords, and then right after that, I think several people have been saying that yes, the truth is going to come out about these. Didn't Phil Godleski say something like that too?
I think so. Could very well have.
Okay.
And he's having a live
Hmm.
tomorrow night.
All right. Tracy, general reading for you for the end of the year. It's just in a couple of weeks, right? You have any plans for Christmas, Cherie?
Just staying home and opening up presents with Luke. It's going to be a quiet day for us, I think.
My mom is sending money, $25 for me and $25 for Nina. And so we're gonna go to the mall. We have a new mall in town that they just built recently. We've never been there. So the plan is Christmas Eve. We're gonna take our $25, go to the mall, and then split up and buy each other a secret gift. Get a gift wrap. Go have a nice dinner at Sizzler. There's a Sizzler there. Um, and then put our gifts under the tree, and then Christmas morning wake up and open our gifts. And I want this to be like our tradition from now on. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
looking
good.
forward to this. It's really cool. If it was just me, or if I had a Western partner, I probably wouldn't do Christmas at all. But because for her, for Nina, Christmas is this new, exciting, exotic holiday, and she loves it. She did a really good job decorating the tree, and it's nostalgic for me. And so I've never been much of a Christmas person, not since I was old enough to know that my parents were putting the gifts there, not Santa. Okay, so Tracy, let's take a look here. Got some big things going on for the end of the year. Wow, you're coming up as a Hierophant. Now, a
Hmm.
Hierophant is like tradition, like it's conservative, someone who's conservative and traditional. And then across from that is this Knight of Wands. Hmm. Now, let me say there might be a person in your life who who's giving you some grief, like they're causing some type of disturbance in your area, in your life. They might have a, a lot of passion. I want to say it's like misdirected anger. Sometimes people are angry because of the just the state of the world, and then they look for something to focus it on, and for some reason they're focusing it on you. So if that's what you have going on, the best way to deal with it is patience and care. Kill them with kindness. Okay. Try to be if you're attacked, even if it's something like you're trying to go to this grocery store and there's people because this time of year, that's what it is. This is that time of year. I used to hate this about Florida. Every With this time of year, you couldn't go into any parking lot without people cutting you off and like this. There's just this anxiety and anger in the air in the time when we're supposed to be most happy, right? So there might be a lot of that going on around you. Try to return any type of this energy, this energy of anger and fearfulness and displaced anger. That's what it is. Try to deal with it by being kind and loving. And Ace of Pentacles. Oh, you know what I'm thinking with this Ace of Pentacles. End of the year. I keep getting these kinds of cards whenever somebody asks me about this time of the year. Honey's been saying it. I've been saying it. Could be that great Christmas that Donald Trump has been promising.
Hallelujah.
Money. So the money that's been kept from us being returned, or some type. Um, who is this? Tracy. You could have some type of what's Christmas? Maybe a great gift is coming. Now I got to justify that with this. When we do this, when we the universe often rewards us when we're confronted with this type of energy and then we meet it with calm counsel and compassion. The universe rewards us in a physical way. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it is Christmas, and there's some kind of physical reward in it for you. Let me see. Let me
Oh,
turn. If I change this from being a person and just being like the general like situation that's going on, the chaos and the frenzy that comes with the holidays, you can find a quiet place where you're insulated from that. But
hmm.
I'm looking at this. Hidden things, unknown things that have been hidden from us. material wealth. Material wealth that's been hidden from us being coming out. Okay. And it's so funny because Shri, so often when I do these reads about the end of the year, I get cards like this, Pentacles, or some type of wealth coming back. So I know I'm
Well,
all over the place here, but I want to give different possibilities for this. Okay, on a personal level, if this is a person, if you don't, if maybe there's nobody you know who fits this person. Okay, it could be a man that is in your home, right? Or a young man or something. This is usually a young man.
mhm.
So if you have a son who has temper problems, but if there's no men in your life who fit that description, then this is just the general public. People are uneasy right now, and and especially around the holidays, people are ready to snap. But handle that with kind words and loving, gentle guidance. Okay.
Which with
All right.
Mars in retrograde, that's going to be a little bit testy.
Oh,
I was
really?
tested. Yeah, I was tested today.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, just at work, something went haywire, and I had to really bite my tongue because my German really wanted to hit the moon, but I didn't.
Hold on a minute. I lost my chat just disappeared for some reason. Get it.
Ooh, okay, that was
I
Tracy,
want to see
right?
before I pick this up, I want to see any kind of feedback I get from Tracy so that I can maybe give her more information on it here. I just saw where YouTube has this thing you can pop out the chat, but it disappeared on me. So let me see if Tracy gives me any feedback on this. Tracy says, oh, there, now it's
Going
back
grocery
again.
shopping.
Going
Going
grocery
grocery
shopping
shopping
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, I just saw that. Um, Serena Magic, thank you for that compliment or comment. Love to talk. Hi, love to talk. I don't recognize your screen name, but I see you are a member, so I thank you very much for that. Still speaking about Dr. Greer. I too had bad feelings about him, but I did watch the video. He seems to be more neutral. Hmm. Okay, good. Tracy said there's no one you can think of. Good. I'm glad to hear that because if you have having somebody like this around you could that's in your personal space, that could be difficult to deal with. So if you don't have this, good. This is just the general, everybody's on pins and needles right now. So treat people with kindness. By the way, this is something I have to do too. I tend to be, what was it? I went to the bank the other day trying to, because I got a new phone, I got to change the apps, and they've made it so difficult. And I wasn't really rude, but I was a little bit short with the teller. I kind of I did the thing where I tossed the paperwork at her, and I felt so bad about it after I did it. And I reminded myself that when I start feeling that way, I need to dial it back, and I need to be patient, caring, and loving with other people because it wasn't her fault too. That's the other. All right, what happened here?
Sonny has a super chat.
Okay, that up. Oh, sunny. Okay, I didn't see that one. I saw a small drone in Long Island of some end of summer. Okay, will I be able to freely travel internationally again next year? I'd like to attend events outside the US in May and June. Okay, Sunny, before I answer this question, or maybe anybody else can answer this, is there some restriction to international travel? Is this her personal restriction for whatever reason? So, Sunny, before I draw cards on this, I want some more information from you. What is restricting your international travel now? Why can't you travel now? I know other people have been. Like to attend events outside the US in May and June. So I'm going to shuffle while I'm shuffling. Sunny, and if you can help me with her reply if she sends one, Cherie.
Yeah,
Why
paper.
isn't what's been preventing her from international travel? I'm going to shuffle.
Mm. She says my own personal restriction.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So for whatever reason, and it doesn't have, I don't need to know exactly what it is. Personal reasons, you felt unable to travel internationally. Oh shoot, my battery's dying. Let me plug it in. Hold on a second. Okay. If my computer dies, I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere.
Okay,
So I understand Sunny now.
correct.
So this is for her own personal ability to travel, whatever that is. It's not necessarily necessary that I know what it is. And she's looking for May and June. Okay. Sunny, international travel, May and June. What's that look like?
Looking good.
I think the universe is trying to tell us something.
Hmm.
It was looking good until I get the hanged man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if the thing that's been keeping you from traveling is like your own thoughts, like maybe things like something about your thinking is stopping you from going, um, then yes, that's going to be cleared. But I don't know. With the King of Pentacles, see, there's no travel. In fact, there's no other than the guy on the horse here, and that's actually your challenge. Um, and the timing here, Pentacles, that's not May or June. Hold on a second. I've got this new way for figuring out dates and timing, but I have to look at my cards first. No, 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 no. Sonny, I'm going to say no. It's going to be delayed. um, because I think there's going to be this restructuring of the world's hierarchy and systems and money, right? Here again. So there may be this a period of getting things back into order after we go through this positive reset.
So the hangman would kind of be like patience, be patient.
Yeah, a delay,
Hmm.
and I get the feeling that there's the King of Pentacles could be like maybe martial law or we're being prevented from travel by authority for some reason. Uh, or maybe not everybody, but for you in particular, in your case, okay? I need to pull a couple more cards on this. So I'm looking for anything that shows travel because you're gonna have the means, you're gonna have the money, you're gonna have, you're gonna have you're not gonna be going alone. There's gonna be other people who will go with you. Oh, fool. How do I interpret this? Complete reset. I said reset. This is something completely new.
Hmm.
And then the devil. Now, this is not that scary cabal devil. This is not nothing satanic. And combine this with money and sovereignty, and it's it's having a good time. Okay, it's spending all this money that you're going to be getting, spending on something completely frivolous and that's just for fun, like frivolous. Look how frivolous this guy looks, and he doesn't have to worry about his money because he can go out and buy whatever he wants, things that make him happy. You know what this reminds me of is me getting fat because I got that that bonus from YouTube. That's this kind of devil, right? I was ordering more of the more richer foods than I normally would buy, maybe drinking a little bit more beer than I would normally drink. That's this guy. But it's like treating yourself to have a good time, as long as it doesn't get out of control. And that's what I've done. I've reined it in. Cut my diet way back, and I've started exercising again. Um, so there you go, Sonny. Enjoy it when it happens. But I don't know. You're not going to be traveling for some reason. I'm not sure at least not in June and May. Maybe in about 1 year from now, based on the pentacles. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me see what Sunny has to say. My own personal, yeah, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, great love, man. Frivolously spend. Right, exactly. So to be able to frivolously spend, and especially treating myself while traveling would be a real treat. Exactly. Mhm. Pentacles card is 10. No, 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 no. The that ace, that's a ace of pentacles. And also when cards come up repeatedly in the same place. So this is the second time in a row. Where is it? I lost it. And it was the ace of pentacles.
Yeah.
What should I do with it? There it is. This card. Okay. So it's exactly what it looks like. It's a big gold coin that's being handed out. Okay. So But what's more important is that this card has come up twice in the same position. Damn it, why does my screen keep doing that? Keep my chat just disappears. And then it doesn't give me any way to refresh it. Okay, never mind that. All right, so I look for this. When cards come up in the same place, the same card in the same place consecutively, the universe is basically yelling at you something, it's something important. And it comes up again and again and again in private readings when people ask me about the end of the year. Pentacles, either a 10 of pentacles, which is an abundance of stuff, ace of pentacles, which is new. So yeah, it looks really good. Where's my chat? There we go. Yep, gone again. So weird.
Very weird.
Okay, so much for that. All right, and oh, Cherie, I owe you one.
Yeah, just a quick one.
Lost my chat again. So annoying. Let me get that again. Bear with me, guys. I hate when I have dead air. I hate dead air on my live streams. So when I go silent, Cherie, you need to talk. I'm just
I
joking.
need to tell you. Okay. Well, I just wanted
All
a
right.
general read for Aquarius until the first of the year.
Yeah, that's cool you did
On my
that way.
live streams.
Oops, sorry. Turn that volume down. There we go. Okay, for Aquarius. Well, that's nice of you to do it that way. And that way, this is for all the other Aquarians out there.
Correct.
Hold on, I'm reading the chat here.
Okay.
Group read for the week. Yeah, I'll do that for the collective. Okay, very interesting. That collectively might be. Sunny says, very interesting that collectively we might be experiencing restrictions. That's a possibility. And that's something that, on an intuitive level, that I think it has to happen for the restructuring to happen. Like, kind of like when your computer or your phone's on the glitch, so you turn it off, turn it back on again. Basically, we're going to do that to society, to the world.
Really makes you
So,
wonder. Really makes you wonder which airlines are going to make it through this reset, and which ones aren't.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me of something really interesting that Dr. Stephen Greer said. Thank you, Tracy. It's so kind of you. Um, so Honey's talked about, and I've talked about, but this one particular thing, teleportation. So Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer says everything that you've seen on Star Trek already exists.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from someone like him, that now I've heard Phil Godleski say that teleportation is real and exists, and we already have it. And
Yep.
now Stephen Greer is saying it. He's got all this insider information. But he says like everything in Star Trek that you see in Star Trek already exists. And Honey said that teleportation already exists. Now my left brain just
Mm-hmm.
says, I have a hard time wrapping my brain around that. But you put that together, intuitives like Honey, with people who have technical inside information like Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer, and Phil Godleski saying it, that gives it a high amount of credibility to me.
And where I experienced it on the train, I know it's going on.
Tell us tell us that story again, Sheree. It's a good one.
Well, my train was over 8 hours late, picking me up in Fort Morgan when I was heading out to Oregon. And so it was way later than it was supposed to be. And we were going along the second day, and I was tired of reading and tired of napping. So I decided to go to maps on my phone and watch the little blue dot. That was the train that I was going on, travel down the railroad tracks and seeing which towns were coming up and everything. Well, we came up to this one town and stopped in a tunnel. And the guy that was sitting next to me, he said, I've been on trains before and I've never known one to stop in a tunnel. And I said, yeah, it is kind of strange, isn't it? So I was watching the app and he was kind of watching over my shoulder. And all of a sudden, the blue dot that was me on the tracks, we'd stopped on the right hand side of this one town in a tunnel. And all of a sudden, the blue dot enlarged and took over the whole screen on my phone. And then when it went back to a single small dot again, we were on the other side of the town. And then the train started going forward. So, and when I looked on the map, there was no railroad tracks going through town. It stopped on the right hand side and started on the left hand side. And the train stopped on the right hand side. And then all of a sudden we were on the left hand side and going through the rest of the tunnel.
Oh, so you were in the tunnel the whole time.
Yep, we were in the tunnel the whole time.
It Now I'm just being a devil's advocate here and trying to use Occam's razor. Is there any possibility that while you're in the tunnel, you were moving and didn't know it?
Nope, it was daytime and we were in the tunnel.
Oh, didn't you
Well,
have somebody with you who like sitting next to you who noticed it as well?
yep. He looked at me, I looked at him, and he said, what just happened? And I looked at him and I said, I knew we had the talk technology, but I didn't know the trains above ground were using it. He said, what? What happened? I said, we just teleported. And he looked at me, and I mean, this guy is a college professor. He looked at me, he looked down at my phone again, and he went, yeah, we did. So it was wild. And see, the thing is if my train hadn't been 8 hours late, we would have been in that tunnel at night and sleeping. But since
Oh,
the train was 8 hours late, it was daytime. But felt nothing. The train came to a stop and felt nothing. And when we started going forward, the dot on my map showed that we were on the other side of the town.
cool story.
So it was,
Okay, Gigi, I see your question. I'll come to that in just a minute, but I'm going to do this one for Aquarians for the year. Uh, for the first, no, you say the first of the year, Cherie. You mean just for that day or for the year 2025?
from now until the first of the year.
Oh, okay. My brother's an Aquarius, by the way.
Is he? When's his birthday?
I don't know. I'm really bad with birthdays. I just know that he's an Aquarius and he's a total opposite of me and you, I would say.
Well, I'm a Grand Cross Aquarius, so
Aquarius, this is really interesting. Aquarius is an air sign,
yes, it is.
even though it's got water in it. But this is like he's the sign for Aquarius is a man pouring out water, right?
Correct.
Oh, this is really good. I know that that Three of Swords looks scary, but it's in a good place there of healing and optimism and renewal. And I know that you have some big changes coming up. Like
Hmm.
you're getting you're getting your family back together, so to speak, right? I mean, like you're kind of spread out across the country now, and you guys are all gonna meet up in Oregon soon.
Correct. That's the plan. Yeah.
And even though I know this is for Aquarius, but I'm tailoring it to you because that's what this Pentacles is. It's like you guys are going to be getting back together and working together, uh, as a cohesive family unit, so to speak. Um, and there's going to be a time for healing. Are you gathering for I now you said okay to the end of the year. When are you planning to? Because you got to move. You have somebody over on the East Coast who's moving over. You're doing that whole thing, right?
Yeah. Luke's here helping me pack so I can move, so we can get out to Oregon. But I've kind of put it off until March or April. This Oregon's getting more snow in the passes than I want to try and travel, so I've kind of put it off until springtime. But I do know that I was told that Shane and Sean and Adrian would come back in my life.
The twins.
Yeah,
Okay, well, so we have optimism, hope, and renewal. Queen of Swords and King of. Got another water, air and water. This is a good card for an Aquarian, I think. Towards the end of the. Now I know you tend to be someone that people can come to and talk to, and like you're like a good counsel
yeah,
for people.
yeah.
Time for you.
Happy.
You need to take a break from that a little bit and get a little bit of alone time. Okay,
Yeah, that's
that's
what
some
I've
of
been
your
doing.
advice for the end of the year. Um,
Mm,
Three of Pentacles. So it's interesting. Once again, Pentacles towards the end of the year, and I'm getting this feeling about your silver. I know you have a lot of silver.
mm-hmm.
Renewal and silver. So we may have something to celebrate in regards to the silver.
Yahoo. Okay. Yahoo. Yeah,
But
because I just bought.
but there is one thing. You're somebody that a lot of people are able to talk to. I know that you're one person that I call when I just need somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget that you also need that. Okay. Um, so like when you need somebody to talk to, do you have somebody to call? And if you don't, then you can always call me if it's not in the middle of the night here. I hope you know that.
I know that, Scott. Thank you. Yes, I do. And a couple times I went to call you, and I'm going, "Oops, he's sleeping." It's 3 o'clock in the morning. There, I can't do that to him.
That's usually with me too. It's like when I want to talk, everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for that, Scott. That definitely will carry me over. I'll just have to go out and find me a quiet spot.
all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end this broadcast now. I want to thank everybody who showed up. I appreciate you, and I've got some work to do. I want to do it now before I change my workstation here back to a entertainment station. And thank you, Cherie, for helping out in the chat. Thank you to everybody who was in the chat.
Well, thank you for inviting me again, Scott. And thank you, everybody, for showing up again tonight. Love seeing all of our regulars in here and a few new faces and names again, too.
Oh, wait. I told Gigi I'd do this one for her. Sorry, Gigi, I
Oh,
didn't forget about you. Well, I did for a minute.
that's right. I'm glad that Lacey Blue reminded us.
And Serena says, thank you for coming on. I want to say thank you for saying that, Serena, because to be honest with you, sometimes I'd rather just stay lazy and not do anything on a Monday morning. So I kind of have to motivate myself to get on here and do it. And then once I do, I'm always happy I did. So thank you for thanking me for coming on. I appreciate that. But Gigi, this is for you. She says, my daughter is going through a divorce. Move in with me from time for time so I can help her with children. Okay, so let's take a look at your daughter's welfare for the year of 2025. How are things gonna go for your daughter, Gigi? Oh, and then a group reading for the week. I won't forget that. Okay. But I'm not going to take any more questions from the chat unless you want to do it in a super chat, then I have to. Okay, so this is for you, Gigi, for your daughter. See how's 2025 going to go for her. Oh, strength. That's a good. See, this is the type of strength that we get after going through something hard. And Gigi, listen to that positive affirmation that I started the show with. And if your daughter hasn't heard that before, remind her of it. How everything happens for a greater good, and I am safe. Oh, thank you, Gigi. I
That
think
was
you
sweet
may
of
have
her.
gotten me really to my goal today. Oh, yeah, look at that. Let's celebrate the 20th super chat on the live stream. 20th? Anyways, let's celebrate that. Thank you. I think we hit my goal. And this looks great for your daughter, Cherie.
Gigi.
Okay. I'm sorry, Gigi. Yep. Um, wow. She really needed to get out of that marriage. I have to tell you that. Um, it was causing her a lot of grief. And like I said, this is the type of strength that we get from having gone through something difficult like that. Um, it's something that probably should have happened much earlier, but this is over the next year, her self-esteem is going to get a big boost. Of course, there's a sense of loss from something like this, but that's gonna fade away as she grows into this becoming this new person. This the ability to love herself, and then other people will love her. That's what happens when you love yourself, then other people recognize that, and then they're able to love you. And she's going to be coming into her own that way. So this is a wonderful read for you, Gigi, for your daughter. 2025 is going to be a time for her to really come into the woman that she's meant to be. All right.
That's good.
So I'm really happy for the outcome of that reading for you. Oh, I should check my phone because sometimes people send me coffees and I haven't checked yet. I heard a ding dong. I heard an alert,
Hmm.
a notification on my phone. Let me check real quick because that I always hate it when I do that, and then I see somebody sent me a coffee and I didn't answer it on the air. Let me check here. Sandy, happy holidays, Scott and Nina. Yes, Nina spells because she's not a native speaker. She doesn't know how to spell Nina. Naina, but she pronounces it Nina. I called her Nana for the first month that we were together. until I heard her say. Then she referred to herself as Nina. I said, Nina? Your name's Nina? I thought it was Nina. So thank you for that for those coffees. That was very generous, Sandy Nightingale. And Ding Dong, yeah. So and also Sandy wants to do a general reading. What'd she say for the week? For what was it? Collective
Yep, for the
group
collective.
reading for the week. Okay. This is for everybody who's listening live right now. This reading's for you guys, including me and Cherie. Reading for us for the week. Oh, I'm glad I got up and went live today.
It's going to be a good day for you. Positive energy is heading your way.
Oh, and as I was telling Cherie when I started, about 35 people or so unsubscribed over the past week. And I think it's because last week I was talking about my great intelligence, how smart I am. And I know that's a big turnoff for a lot of people. I was watching something I was watching a television program where there's an intellectual in this group of like gangsters. It's like the computer and he like knows everything. And somebody says to him, nobody likes a know-it-all. That's been the story of my life. The reason why I've had a hard time making friends and stuff, because I correct people all the time. And anyways, I apologize if I offended you by talking about how smart I am. When I say I'm smart, there's a caveat with that. I'm dyslexic, so it's not that kind of smart. I didn't graduate from university. I can't read very fast. I read very slowly. But I can't help it. I was born this way. I was born with dyslexia and a beyond average IQ, and that kind of
Yeah,
isolated me from the rest of the world. So it's not something I'm particularly proud of or happy of. I kind of wish I'd just been normal, normal IQ, normal ability to learn. But then I wouldn't be who I am today. So I guess I'm happy. Anyways, so I guess some people got offended that I talked about how smart I am. I have a 127 IQ. That puts me at the top 5 percentile, which is a fact, right? I got the paperwork to show it if you want. Probably got smarter since that one was done. But if that triggers you and you want to unsubscribe, it's your choice. However, some of you who come in here and watch every day are not subscribed. You could help make up for the ones who unsubscribed by clicking that subscribe button right now and the bell so you get notifications when I'm on. So it'd be really nice. I would like to see at least 5 people who are regulars who are not subscribed yet get subscribed today. That would be great. Thank you.
and you're born with what the Lord gave you, and it's not your fault.
Well, it's not from a place of ego when I say, I'm in the top 5%. It's just, it is what it is. But
It's a fact.
people and and uh and yeah, I know a lot of shit. I just know a lot.
My last
And
ex-husband used to call me a rocket scientist. And yes, I have a higher IQ than he did. Yes,
but see, a lot of people who are like rocket scientists are also some of the stupidest people I ever met in my life. Yeah, they know science, they know, well, like the scientists are the ones who think we live on a spinning ball, which is completely unprovable, and they think they're smarter than me.
exactly.
So look at this. This is really interesting.
Hmm.
3 pages. We have a three of a kind here. Oh, we have a full house if we're playing poker.
That
Pages
you
and
do.
10.
Yeah.
And she asked for the week, right? This is for the week. Yeah.
And for the
So
collective, yeah,
this is a very good week for righting any wrongs that have been done to you or you have done to other people in the past. Um, he, emotional healing. Oh, and it's the week of Christmas too.
Hmm.
You know, that's that's Christ consciousness energy. Even though I don't believe in the whole story the way it's told, there it's the winter solstice. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so we have this the sun stops for 3 days, and we're going through that right now. Winter solstice was the 21st, right? Today's like the 23rd or
Second,
something.
22nd here in the
20.
States.
Yeah, so we have the winter solstice energy here. The sun's pausing in the sky for 3 days and then heading into a time of celebration with the family. And it's a time for healing. So this is a really good time to put aside any ego that's preventing you from telling somebody that you're sorry because of wrongs that you did to them, or forgiving people who throughout the year. So any think about think about the past year. Anybody who you've wronged, now would be a really good time to give them a call or just send them a text and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I made you feel that way. I love you." Okay. Um, that's the message that the universe wants everybody to have right now. It's a time for forgiving, for us being forgiven for our trespasses and those who've trespassed against us. There you go. That's from the Bible. All right. What a great way to end it. Thank you so much to Sandy for asking
Yeah,
for that reading for the collective. That was beautiful. All
that
right.
turned out good.
Hey, I lost 1.5 pounds. Do I look any thinner from last week?
Your face looks
Just say
thinner.
yes. Just just help me out here because I really was not happy about gaining that weight, and I avoided getting on the scale for the longest time. And then I finally did, and I saw 200, and that's just I should not be 200 pounds. That's way too heavy for me. I'm okay with 185, so I got to get down to that again. All right. So thank you once again, and I'll see you next week. I'm pretty sure Honey will be able to join me next week. So if that's who you came here for, then she'll be here next week. All right,
Oh,
everybody.
sending her prayers that she gets better. And thank you again, Scott, for everything. It was a great night. And thank everybody for being here with us.
Well, I appreciate you, and got to find my screen where I disconnect from. That's what I'm doing right now.
Well,
And as I do this, just want to
Merry
say
Christmas.
again, Merry Christmas. Even though, like I said, I'm not a Christian. Not least not the story about the guy being nailed to the cross and being covered in blood, and blood somehow saves me from my sins. That's that's a what's it? That's a gaslighting there. There is a Christ
Uh,
consciousness though,
yep,
and
there is a
the
Christ.
name Jesus Christ will protect you if you're ever being attacked by negative entities. And
Most
we are
definitely.
all that Christ. We are the Christ. Jesus said that himself. He said, "Everything I can do, you can do even greater than me."
Very true.
Good night, everybody, once again, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, we got really close. I think that is my goal. Let me see, $46.